Hello everyone, and we are back with MissionChief.com, and this will not be an episode, but it will be a pretty cool episode, I guess you could say, even though it's not an episode. Yeah, this could have been 30. It would have been cool if it was 30, because it would have been that nice round number. Wow, that was a good top off, Horny Devil. But no, we're going to talk about some cool shit. So here's some items I think that should be added into the game. Now, you guys might have a different opinion on whether that should be added or not. I do believe it should be, just because I think it would add a very, very simplistic way. I mean, some things are obviously might make it way too complicated, but I think that is cool that this game is complicated. I think due to the fact that you have downtime, let's say all these calls were answered, then I had nothing else to do. And now what would I do? I'm just sitting around like waiting for the stuff to end. And while I'm doing that, I could like dick around or fuck around with shit. So, but here's what I think I can add. So let's just go to the police department real quick and let's look at vehicle market. Now this is pretty pathetic. All you see is two vehicles, a SWAT truck and a patrol car. Obviously, I'm not like ragging on the people that made this game saying that they should add all this stuff, but I think it would be a great idea if they did add this stuff, and I think they do a great job at this game, keeping up with these new updates. It honestly keeps me intrigued. Like, look, when I see news popped up, I'm honestly just so excited. It's like Christmas morning. Oh my God, Saint Nicholas is coming. I'm just kidding. I'm not from Europe. I don't say Saint Nicholas. It's obviously Santa Claus. But here we go. So all you guys saw was Patrol Car and SWAT truck. So here's what I think you guys should add, or not you guys, but I'm saying the developers should add. You guys can post in the comments what you guys think you should add, or they should add. Oh my God, I keep saying that, but my bad. So here's what number one. Obviously a bomb squad. A bomb squad would be so cool. Obviously, it's just like the SWAT update, but I think it would add, I guess more like let's say you have a hostage taken. I think, in my opinion, I think that means hostage situation, and sometimes, they barricade themselves in houses. I think a barricaded person would be a good call too. Like they block the door so like people can't get in, so they have to call SWAT. And when SWAT gets there, they break down the fucking windows and come through the roof or something like that. But sometimes, like you guys saw, probably this summer maybe, Dallas, this guy, multiple people, I think. I don't remember the story, but people were shooting up cops in a parking garage, and what they said was there was bombs planted everywhere. So obviously, um, they can plant bombs themselves to, I guess, get their needs across. But I do believe a bomb squad would be a cool idea, because calls, they can expand, they can upgrade themselves. Like a warrant standby might be like a high risk warrant, like right over here, and requires SWAT, which I'm pretty sure they do. But that's just a scenario. Maybe yeah, you get the point. The next one is gonna be, it's gonna be another police one. Canine. A canine unit would be very cool. A canine patrol unit. I don't know what they're gonna call it. Just canine unit is my personal opinion what they should call it. But we do have these calls. They're called drug warrants. Now, drug warrants are. I mean, like they're obviously serving the warrant on a house that is known for like a meth lab, or they're growing marijuana. In my opinion, I don't think marijuana should be illegal. I think it's a great thing, and it clogs up the prison system. So that's just my opinion. I'm probably gonna stop at the politicalness. I'm very sorry, but yeah. So drug warrants. That's a maybe. It's really hard to interpret these calls. Like, it's very hard. Um, but yes, canine units. They could sniff out cars. They do a lot of things, and it doesn't even have to be for drugs either. It could be for missing persons. So a canine unit could go to like a missing persons, or they're used for bomb sniffing too. They can also go, like, let's say there's a bomb call, so it'd be a bomb threat. That's a new call that I think they should add, is a bomb threat. So that would require a bomb squad and maybe like a bomb dog. So that a canine unit. Canine units can do multiple things, like I just said, and they can go to that call also. So I think that does wrap up canine units. Hope I touched up enough on that. The third one, this is a mix between fire and police. It's very hard to interpret which way it should go, and I don't think it would ever get added to the game because people would bitch because they want to be part of fire and other people want to be part of police. But you're probably thinking, what is this unit that could be for fire or police? Well, it would be a fire investigator, an arson investigator. Now, it's very hard to interpret which side they are for, because obviously they investigate, and they're also like firefighters. Sometimes, they work for the police department, sometimes work for the fire department around the United States. I don't know about Europe or Afghanistan, so I honestly couldn't tell you. But what they could be used for is, I guess like a suspicious fire, I guess you could say, would be a good call. Like suspicious fire, and you would bring out the arson investigator. You might only have like one or two within your city. It's not like a needed unit. Usually, like there's not a like arsonist running around like 24/7. Obviously, there are arsonists, but they're not burning down like buildings constantly. But that's just a good option, or not option, but a good suggestion I think they should add to the game. Woo! That we just covered three major units that I think they should add. All right, and now the fourth thing. The fourth thing is it's pretty interesting actually. It's called interfacility transport. And now let's say this hospital right here, although it's pretty big, let's say this was a clinic in like the middle of nowhere. Let's just go to middle of nowhere real quick. Let's go let's go right here. So as you can see, there's literally nothing here. Literally nothing. You don't see any buildings. It's nothing. Now let's say there was maybe like a small city of like, let's say 3,000, and there was a clinic right here on this corner. And now, not like a clinic, but let's say a small medical center for this small town. Now this medical center has a heart attack victim. And now this clinic, they don't have the high tech equipment, they don't have surgery, they don't have any of that stuff. So what do they need to do? Well, the first thing they need to do is obviously transport them here, get get them stable, I guess you could say, and get them off to a tertiary a care center, like a major hospital. But what are they gonna do? They're all the way over here, and the nearest hospital is like, look at this still. This is still the middle of nowhere. You don't see any buildings. Like, this is just pathetic. It's just a bunch of rivers everywhere. Now, what do they need to do? Well, the fastest way to get from a person from one of these buildings is usually what happens is they would send an ambulance, ground ambulance sometimes, to one of these major hospitals in the area. Obviously, I'm just saying these because I have hospitals up here, but they could be maybe over here. Or what they usually do, and not usually, but sometimes they usually call in helicopters, because helicopters can get here. Where was this place? Like, let's say, yep, this is the place right up here, even though it's not the same road. Let's say the clinic is still over here. The helicopter comes from all the way. It wouldn't be over here. They'd be a lot closer. But all the way from there to here, and then back to the hospital. And then from the hospital, they go back to their base. It's just a nice square. And now, what would that mean? Well, what would that mean would... Oh my god, it's like I'm drunk. But I'm slurring my words like an asshole. What that would mean is you would not be taking away that's the bed over there. So you'd be moving this patient from this medical center all the way to this major hospital. So let's say, in your building system, you're like, oh crap, I really don't want to send an ambulance from, let's say there's a call right here. Actually, let's make it right down here. The medical center is right up here, and the hospital's out the way here. You're like, where should I send? I really don't want to spend an hour moving them up here, so we're going to spend 22 seconds moving them over here. Obviously, it's not going to be 22 seconds, but you get the thing. So later on, you can move the patient from here all the way over there and get the full credit. I hope that made sense to you. Just Google interfacility transport if that didn't make any sense to you. I'm very sorry if it didn't. That's actually pretty pathetic. I'm very sorry about that. Oh, so that was a lot. The fifth thing I think they should add is airports. So basically, like a normal any building. Let's say I plop down a fire department right here in the middle of this intersection right here. And usually, there's like a radius on where like mission spawns. Like, let's say this, you just got the game, and you put this station right here. Now the radius would probably be like right here. You'd be getting like little brush fires, like the missions that require one engine. It wouldn't be that far away. Maybe they'd be like a 2 mile radius, like up here, over there, like a big plus sign, and that big radius. Now, what I think they should do is add an airport fire department. Now, you only need one of those, and with that airport, what the vehicles come with are like specialty units for like plane crashes, or like emergency landings, essentially. So, like within this radius, let's say there was a small propeller plane crash. Maybe there could be like an emergency landing over here, but this is like a very like high tech wish, I guess you could say. I mean, it doesn't have to be added, but I think it'd be very cool to see this in the game. Later on, of course. I mean, they have a lot more important things to do, because they're coming up with an app version, if you guys did not know that. So Mission Chief will be coming out on an app version, and that'll boost the shit out of this game. Like, when that pops up on the App Store, people are like, what the hell is Mission Chief? I mean, it's going to be very interesting. But let's go over here to my airport. So obviously I had to use a random ass, like a real life like fire department. Like this one's probably made out of brick. It's just like a normal fire department with like ladders and battalion chiefs. But I don't want any of that. So I had to make my own airport. It's pretty pathetic, honestly, how I had to make it, but it's very efficient. Like, look at this. You have 10, or not 10, 9 engines here and 1 foam truck. Nah, that shit's crazy, right? So what this airport, let's say this was a new building. This was not like a normal fire department where you could buy, these other vehicles, battalion chiefs and heavy rescues. All you could buy would be like, aircraft rescue and firefighting, which is ARFF. Um that's why I have these 9 aircrafts. Like obviously these major airports like JFK, LAX, and MSP, they have a lot of engines, is because they have constant flights coming in with hundreds of people on board, and sometimes they have emergency landings that like they might hit like a flock of birds and come back because their engines are on fire. I mean, just things like that would be very cool to see. Like if I could get this radius like right over here, like this would be a perfect radius. Like look at this. That's just beautiful. So that'd be very interesting to see. Um, yeah, there's and the only vehicle that you could buy would be ARFFs, like I said before. Maybe like a mobile platform, because like not always do they have like a staircase. Like on most terminal like airliners, like these large 747s, they obviously have like the emergency things, like little rafts you see pop out, but they don't have like staircases that fold down like little private jets do. Like usually see like these things right up here. These things have like little wheels under them. Actually, no, this is just that's just nothing right there. But yeah, you see like the terminals where people actually get on board, and like like those things have wheels, and they move to the door, and you get on right there. So that's what I mean. So that basically wraps it all up. I might think of some in the future, but bomb squads, canine units, arson investigators, airports, and interfacility transports. Obviously, I said those in a little bit different ways, but I think that does wrap it up. Also, one more thing I want to see is helicopters. Obviously, 1 employee. Okay, the crew maximum right here. Max persons is 1 person. I really want to see that change to 3, because most of them do have 3: paramedic, nurse, or a paramedic and a doctor, and you always have to have that pilot. They had the or not the paramedics, but the ambulances, right? The max population is 2. Obviously, you can have more. You can have like 2 paramedics on board and 1 driver. But usually like you have 2 paramedics on board, and usually they switch off, being the driver and then the caretaker, of course. But yes, that just wraps it all up. I probably should have been answering calls within that, but I don't know. I think if you guys need a picture examples, just look these things up. I think this is a pretty successful, I guess, shindig, I guess you could call it. It's a very exuberant word, and another word is used. But that's about it. thank you for watching. I might think of more, and then I might do another episode like this. But thank you for watching. Have a good night.